2025 marks the 20th anniversary of the women's competition at the USAFL Nationals. In a way, it's fitting that we're here in Tucson, Arizona, because it is the home state of one of the three teams that were there at the very beginning in 2005 in Milwaukee, the Arizona Hawks, a team that has had many ups and downs over the last couple of years on the women's side, but they have shown out in force as they take on the Portland Sockeyes and friends in this women's division play-in game, and we'll explain what that means in just a moment. Good afternoon, everyone. Back here at the Kino Sports Complex South, I'm Brian Barish. Jason Becker, the longtime national teamer and former Minnesota Freeze player, joins me in the commentary position. And before we talk about this game, 20 years of women's footy at nationals. I know you were there at the very beginning of it, especially around women like Kat Hogg, who is the matriarch of the USAFL. And Bex, it's great to see how much the game has grown in the last 2 decades.
Yep, credit to Kat, very La Victoire. Back in the day, I think Marie's here this year. So she's been doing this for 20 years, not just started it, but still going.
And Marie is actually on the field with the Arizona Hawks. They have players with them from the San Diego Lions, the Orange County Giants, and the North Star Blue-Hawks against a Portland team that has players from the Seattle Grizzlies and the North Texas Devils. I think both teams really have talent up and down the field, especially the Sockeyes having players from Seattle, players like Amanda Bowe, who is a sharpshooter around the front. Danny Bridges from the Portland team has impressed here in the early going. And Arizona, their side, Leilani Cordova-Silvio, who's been around a long time, a former national team player. She is good around the front. Melissa Armstrong is good around just about everywhere on the field. And Jason, or Becker, I don't know what even to call you in this. Bex. Hi, Bex.
Hey.
Bex, you know, one of the things about this particular format, for those of you who may not have seen it, this is a different format than what we've had in previous years. It is not a pool format, but it is a bracket format. And so at the end of today, there will be 4 teams playing for Division I, 4 teams playing for Division II. These 2 teams, Arizona and Portland, are in a play-in game. And what that means is that if they win, they will play the loser of, I believe, I'll check in just a moment. We'll find out. It's those games are at 4 o'clock. They will play the I thought I had it here. It will be the Golden Gate Iron Maidens who they play. The Maidens, a surprise loser to Denver a little bit early on, perhaps a little bit of an upset. And the loser of this particular game will play in Division II. They'll have a challenge match against the loser of the other game on the other field, the Austin Crows and the DC Eagles, a little bit later on. And the other qualifier game, Minnesota and New York, is going on right now. This is a very, in some ways, it's a little bit of a baffling, you know, if you're not familiar with it, but it's the AFL format, and that's a pretty good format.
Yeah, it is a good format. I'm glad you explained it to me and our broadcast audience. And what it really means is there's going to be 2 sets of hardware being given out by the end of this.
Absolutely, not only the trophies but the medals as well. So we should mention that the Denver Bulldogs are they have a bye to the semifinals in Division I tomorrow. They will be joined by either the Minnesota Freeze or the New York Magpies. We'll keep you in touch with that game as it's happening today. And then, of course, these 2 play-in games. The winner of this game, as we say, will play Golden Gate. The winner of the Austin DC game will play the loser of the Minnesota-New York game. So
yeah, but we called that Denver Golden Gate game as one to watch, and like you said, a little surprising. And while we do this game, we'll also keep an eye on that Minnesota-New York game. Absolutely. We'll keep an eye, thanks to Watch AFL, on all the matches, and we are underway here. It is Carly Schoenhoft, who is the ruck, and talking to Leilani Cordova before the match, he said keep an eye on her. She's really done well in the ruck, and getting taken down picking that one up was Indigo Ayo. Ayo has been a big pickup for the Portland Sockeyes. She had been playing in the forward line, but she's been playing more in the midfield, especially in this setup. It gets moved forward, and the ball is kicked out. One player, as that was Eileen Yoon, Silvio turns around. One player you need to watch is Danny Marshall, number 6
from the Arizona Hawks, a former AFLW player, the only American to play in AFLW so far, also the only USAFL alum to really the one to come up through the USAFL to come through, as she is back after not only being delisted by Essendon, but also giving birth to twins a couple of months ago. So it's great to see her out there. Well, I know that little Piper and Aurora are watching as well, so we were talking to her earlier, and it's great to see her back. Meanwhile, for Arizona, they play this one up on the far side, and it's knocked down in front, and then going to try and clear it out, but a big tackle was put in by the Sockeyes and getting taken down. And we'll have a ball up. In fact, no, it was a free kick. This is Tracy McLean, a USA Freedom player from the Transatlantic Cup, and I know she was very impressive. She was generally saw her play more on the defensive side, but can play well offensively as well. Handed back around and up on the far side. It goes out of bounds in front of the late arriving Lauren Williams. No score on the Watch AFL scoreboard a couple of minutes in.
And the wind is just starting to swirl a bit. If there was an advantage, I would say it's moving a little bit from left to right on your screen. So that's going against the breeze at the moment.
That was Sarah O'Halloran who had the ball earlier for Arizona as the ball comes back in the play. This is, I think, of all the games, of both games, this is the one to watch. O'Halloran with a weird-looking handball, but it came off. Big tackle put in there as Haley Duffield had it. She was put in there, and then we'll have a scramble, and we'll have the ball is held in. We'll have a ball up. Ball goes back in the air once again. Going after it again was Schoenroff. Or rather, that was McLean who was in there. And McLean is battling for the ball.
She's been active early. She didn't connect the ball to her boot on the previous kick, but she's staying active and making things happen up forward.
Ball goes back in the air once again. A number of, we said, just about every team except for Golden Gate is a combo team. And that is Rebecca Choate, who's in there for Arizona. They turn that one in towards the goal. It rolls home, and Arizona has drawn first blood. The Hawks on the Watch AFL scoreboard go to 1-6. Portland no score. That was a broken play, and it is almost indicative sometimes of what we see here in Division II, but Division II level for the women. But they found the nose for goal and they scored.
Yep, that just squeaked through, but you take them how you can get them, especially against what little breeze is starting to pick up.
And you don't, and I'll tell you what, you don't say no to goals like that. So Arizona on the board.
Yeah, when things are going your way, you don't ask too many questions.
And as we said, the home team in this tournament, AO picks her off. Big tackle. Armstrong runs her down. No call. It was awfully close. And Williams able to spring AO. Ball gets knocked out. AO again leaves as a tackle, and she's gone. Great tackle.
Not right now. They can't do it right now.
That tackle Melissa Armstrong just did, she may have hit her head on the ground.
Yeah, that's what it is, and it looks like we have they're calling blood rule, but I think this is a concussion, and that is big.
It's probably going to stop the clock, right?
They should, and in fact, well, they did the blood rule, so that would do it. And
yep.
Melissa Armstrong, who is an original Arizona Hawk, has been in and out of retirement, and she came out of retirement to play in this tournament. She was, for a time, registered with the Golden Gate Iron Maidens and played for them as well. Former USA Freedom National Team player.
Looks like she's going to stay out there and play it on. She was making a wonderful tackle. It looked like the opponent just barely got a fist to it, but then her head may have hit the grass.
Danny Marshall able to bang it out with the left foot. Tell you what, she still plays at a high level, and she still can let it ride off that left foot, and that ball traveled maybe about a good 50 meters before going over the boundary line and out of bounds just to our left.
That was a great left-footed kick. It rolled out of bounds. At AFLW level, that would have been a lasso rule and a free kick the other way, but not in this tournament.
No, not here. They also had that tournament in the Transatlantic Cup last year. Here is Armstrong, who seems to be feeling okay, sends that one out on a line, and I think taking the mark in the field of play was Allie Boyd, and in fact she did just barely. Here is Allie Boyd for the Portland Steelheads, who trail 6-0 on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Drops in front, and it's marked by AO, who takes the mark on the wing position commentary side. AO looks, booms down the ground, over the head, and just out of the reach of one of the North Texas players. That in the 14 who we don't have on this roster here, but one of the players wearing the green.
You can see Danny Marshall just pointing and talking, organizing her team. She's just so smart.
That shows the leadership that she's gained over playing overseas now since 2019. When she went over, she was signed ahead of the 2020 season with the Western Bulldogs. She played for Aberfeldy and then ended up playing in VFLW for the Footscray Bulldogs and was an instant hit. Ball gets taken down. Ayo is there, just got it away, but the pressure applied by Danny Marshall makes the kick go out of bounds on the full, and it will be a free kick going the way of the Arizona Hawks. Again, watch AFL scoreboard 6-0 to the home side.
So it'll be a free kick from out of bounds after that out of bounds on the full.
Around the grounds for watch AFL. Austin leads DC 2-0. Big crack in there, big in there as Marshall's able to get it away. Just getting it up high and now kicking out to the near side was Michelle Collins. And now big tackle again put in there on Duffield. Tried to go through, picked up and dropping the pill there was the 86 in O'Halloran, and she was claimed. It'll be a free kick going the other way. 2 20-minute halves. Again, the winner of this game will play Golden Gate in essentially a quarterfinal match in the Division I side. The loser will play Division II and will have a game tomorrow. They'll have the Division II semifinal tomorrow morning. Out of the reach of, I believe that was Amelia Carr, who's wearing number 13. Yeah, you can't miss her. And Amy Carr from the Seattle Grizzlies, another player to watch in the defensive side.
Apart from one uncontested mark, it's just been a super hot footy. Everything's under pressure.
Ball goes in, one-on-one contest. Big swing, no contact. That's Gretchen Galbraith, one of the Seattle women. Big tackle again put in there.
Good grab.
Yep.
Keep the ball going forward. Playing some tempo footy, trying to find an open player.
Yep.
Biting off a lot in the center square.
Annika Smith was in there defensively for Arizona, as going to pick that one up. Again, that was Lauren Skonechny, the former New York Magpie. Banging it out on the far side was Lindsay Hestand, another Arizona veteran who was involved in the early days of this team. Going to get picked up, tackled, dislodged the football. Carr's with it, she picks it up. That was a very cheeky looking handball. Kicked that one up on the far side. That may have been Ricky Lee Buxton, the number 7. She soccers that one on over into the pocket. There now is Skonechny, who was trying to put the hammer down on Eileen Yoon, one of a handful of players from the Orange County side who's here, and the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds on the far side. Watch AFL scoreboard says 6-0, just the one goal to the Arizona Hawks here in the first half.
As we go between our reading glasses and the binoculars, that ball could not be farther away from us.
I was going to say, around the grounds for Watch AFL, Austin 3, DC nothing. That's the other play-in game. Still awaiting a score from Minnesota and New York. It looks like that game has started. It's 0-0. And be interesting to see. These are really good conditions, Becker. I mean, there's a little bit of a wind now blowing to our right towards the highway end. Arizona, again, leading one straight 6 to no score over Portland and Friends. So we could call it Arizona and Friends. Ball is in a mess of people on the far side.
Yeah, nothing's easy right now, Brian.
No, literally. As the ball gets picked up, keeping vigil in there was Armstrong. And going to get picked up, soccered along the ground. Now picking that one up finally was Ruth Mendez for Arizona. And big tackle put in there, soccered off the ground, picked up, turns that one inside was Ayo, looking for someone inside 50. As Portland trying to tie it, there's Amanda Bowe, shoves her opponent down. Big tackle put in there by Marie LaVictor. And then again, Bo staying after it, dragged down and then sandwiched. And I don't think the human body was meant to contort in that way. Or if you are, you should teach us some yoga, because that was just very interesting.
Good work by Amanda Bo. They got a good bounce and ran it out, finally breaking the half-forward line. And Bowie with good hands to keep it moving forward.
Team USA's leading scorer in the Transatlantic Cup. And picking that one up is Indigo Ao, who goes across the face. And it's going to be picked up, and it is banged out of there quickly. One-on-one contest. That was Lauren Williams who went after it, sending this one down the line, tracking back and over the top, taking the mark was Amy Carr, who is living in Nova Scotia. She's been playing for the Halifax Dockers in AFL Atlantic, and Danny Marshall with an easy-peasy mark. And Danny, whose husband Ryan is back here too. He's playing for the Hawks men's side, out to the near side. Good spoil in defense there. Trying to pick that one up again, believe was Mendez, and then she just plucks that one out. Able to get away from Ao, off the hands there of Amanda Mora, who goes back in. Sending that one back there was Allie Boyd once again, or check that. That was, it was the 27. But in any event, Ao sends that one into the pocket, drops in front. But there is Marshall once again. When in trouble, when in strife, holler a bloody Marshall. And she's able to gain meters and gain a boundary throw in. Just to the right of our commentary position. With the score on the Watch AFL scoreboard, 1 straight 6 for Arizona, no score for Portland.
Yeah, we talked about Danny Marshall keeping things organized and staying behind the play and kind of keeping the ball in front of her. Carr is doing the same thing on the other end. And here she is on cue. Chasing the ball to the other side. Now she's behind the ball, so we'll see if this can actually get up forward.
Watch AFL scoreboard around the grounds. Austin leads DC 4-0. It's a scrubby game over on that other field as they move through, getting that one out and getting that one up high and tracking back and taking the mark once again was O'Halloran. O'Halloran with the football now. She looks to send this one inside the 50-meter arc where the pack forms. This one tails off to the right. Marks!
Couple of good marks. O'Halloran knew where to be. The ball landed in her lap, and then she found a teammate up there in the right pocket.
So she'll go back.
The goal umpire did not move, Brian.
And she has it. Second goal for the Arizona Hawks. They go to 2 straight 12. And Portland no score. That's for Watch AFL. And for Watch AFL, here's Jason Becker.
And that ball ended up in Court 3 in the pickleball arena. So that was a wonderfully connected goal shot.
And get them connected with a better sport over there, as that was Olivia Devia. Although I think there's a penalty right here for talking badly about pickleball here in Arizona. And we should say thanks to Visit Tucson for their sponsorship of this year's tournament. Same thing with Cooper's, and also for Tasmanian. What can we say about Tasmania? The cool maritime climate of Tasmania, moderated by ocean breezes, allows grapes to ripen slowly, developing refined and delicate flavors ideal for sparkling wine. And there is some wine here, so I've been told. Here it is, Jan's. Jan's sparkling wine is actually here, which is fantastic. So go get some Jan's. If you're here at the ground, you should go get some Jan's sparkling wine.
You got my attention, Brian.
Yeah, now I think I got Charlie's down on the end there with the wine.
So 12-0 in favor of Arizona at the moment.
And we expected this to be a tight game, I think, Bex. I think the way that these two teams play over the years is really just it's good football. And I think right now there is very much a feeling out phase, especially considering that these teams are mixed up. I mean, Arizona has played with the San Diego and Orange County women a fair bit over the course of the season, but you know, Portland and Seattle too, they know each other pretty well, playing both with and against. So I think there's a little bit of a feeling out period as this one is sent down the ground. And it will roll, it'll skip, it'll hop, and on about the 15th hop, it's going to get picked up by Isabel Barter. That's a new name. Barter will turn around and try to send this one up as Portland looking for their first score of this contest as the ball drops in and going to get picked that one up on a hop and sending it back. Big boom kick up on the far side, up in the far wing position, through the hands of Carr. Picking that one up was Ao. Ao walks back, now looks in front of them and sends this one down. It'll skip. Stopped in front by Here's Bo. Bo had it smothered by Marila Victor, who stays with the football. She'll go after Bo, tries to drag her down. Did she get her? The question is whether she got her legally or whether it was a low tackle, or the third option, which is a ball up.
Let's throw it up.
And that was no prior opportunity. She didn't have a chance. There is Marshall, who gets it the heck out of there, and it is marked in the middle of the ground by O'Halloran. O'Halloran right in front of the Tasmanian logo, sends it out to the near side. Good contest there, but Mora was second best. And now up the far side, Mora, the captain of this team, a lacrosse player, has started with the other Arizona team, the Outlaws. Big tackle thrown in, and it's a free kick. And it's a great tackle, and again, it is O'Halloran, who right now has been the player to watch for the Arizona Hawks.
Yep, Portland and friends, and that time Portland didn't find any friends, so she got caught with the ball. But, Portland, Seattle, North Texas, they do seem to be about equal. They just can't seem to break the half-forward line, and things get mopped up, so it's all Arizona on the scoreboard so far.
Gretchen Galbraith, who took the defensive mark, is playing over in Germany, where she's living at the moment. Played as well for the Basel Dragons women's side over in Switzerland. Ao has a bounce. I was about I'll tell you what, that was very close to being 15 meters, but Ao got away with it. Handball up over the top, looking in there and just getting it away, and good pressure there is going to force the ball going out of bounds, just missed the chalk, as a great job by the 28 for Portland, who I don't have here on the list, but they were able to get it out, and we'll have maybe Maddie McHugh, I'm not sure. No, Maddie's 16.
And Marie LeVictor's been doing this so long, she's explaining to the opposition that it's her kick.
Yeah, pretty much. Marie, one of the founding members of the North Star Blue Hawks, but finds...
Danny just knows where to be.
Yep. Danny, of course, started with the Western Bulldogs, finds a teammate, and currently still, I believe, on the Essendon AFLW list as Michelle Collins comes out, and they'll probably be keeping an eye out for her next season, and it's amazing. She just gave birth to twins a few months ago, and here she is playing in the national championship as the ball is turned over and sent down. The last time that Danny played, as she finds Armstrong in the middle of the ground, the last time Danny played, they were in a combination with Philadelphia, Boston, Baltimore, and I want to say one other team, and they won D2, holding off DC/Des Moines in a thrilling grand final.
You mentioned the Twins a couple of times, and 20 years, as we've talked about before, goes by in a flash. So not just Twins. Another word for Twins might be the future of footy. So we'll see
absolutely.
Where that goes.
Well, you know what I said when I announced to the USAFL board in 2019 that we were going to have a daughter, is that the best way to recruit is internally. Mark is,
If you can't find enough players, just start making some.
Yeah, I was going to say, out to the near side, but everything in moderation, as the ball will go over the boundary line and out of bounds in front of Collins, and we'll have a boundary throw in just to her left. Again, on the Watch AFL scoreboard, it's 2 straight 12 for Arizona. No score for Portland. Around the grounds, Austin has kicked 9 behinds in their game against DC. I'm wondering if that's a typo, but they have kicked. It is 9-0. That is the score, and we're still awaiting a score from Minnesota and New York. So
that might be a lack of updates.
It might be a lack of updates, but
we'll see.
But we have 9-0 as the score. I'll tell you what, DC has good pressure, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was 9 behinds. But my goodness, Austin, it's a DC side that I think is coming in very hungry, trying to get the ball and running down and taking it with Schoenhoft. She was taken down, and then the whistle being tackled without the football, and we'll have a free kick. It will go the other way, and it will go the way of Arizona.
Yeah, she had a bounce while she was being tackled, and that's always going to go against you. And Portland is threatened, but just Arizona's been able to mop up all the pressure.
Cordoba sends it out to the wing position, and that one goes over the boundary line and out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw in once again with the score of the Watch AFL scoreboard, 12-0 in favor of Arizona. Brian Barish and Jason Becker, glad to have your company wherever you're watching us. We appreciate your patience as we get things going here, and our thanks to our great crew led by Jerry Long, who is running between both fields, making sure all is clear, calm, and copacetic.
I think that siren may come at any moment.
I believe so.
There it is.
I think there it is.
Right on cue.
And that'll do it. So halftime in this, well, she's going to get a kick anyway, because why not?
I don't think she's got the distance.
I don't think. Rexy, I don't think this one's got the distance. And at halftime here in this women's play-in game here at the 2025 USAFL National Championships. My God. It's the Arizona Hawks, 2 straight 12. Portland, no score. And Portland, as you said, Bex, I don't think they have a lot to be ashamed of. I think they're getting their chances. But when you have Danny Marshall in the back and in the back like that, and some of the other players back there, we mentioned Collins, they're playing extremely well in the back line. It's been very difficult for them to get any penetration.
Yeah, Carr's moved up the ground a bit. Bo has threatened to get it in the forward end, but it just keeps that pressure just keeps getting absorbed. So it's still zip for Portland, Seattle, North Texas on the scoreboard. 12-0.
Yep,
Arizona.
and around the grounds for Watch AFL, Austin at halftime leads DC 9-0. We'll try and get an update on that Minnesota-New York Magpies game for you as well. We're going to take a break and be back with the second half of this exciting match. You're watching the 2025 USAFL National Championships from Tucson, Arizona, here on AussieRulesUSA.com. we're back at the Kino South Sports Complex in Tucson, Arizona. The 2025 USAFL National Championships presented by Cooper's Tasmanian Visit Tucson and Friends. This is the Arizona Hawks leading the Portland Sockeyes. Combinations by the score of 12-0. In this play-in match, the winner will head to the quarterfinals of Division I. The loser will be ticketed for Division II in the semifinal game tomorrow morning. Brian Barish alongside Jason Becker. Glad to have you along as we get set once again. And we'll just get the timer set to go. The Hawks in the yellow jumpers with the blue trim. The umpire holds the spirit of this great game aloft. The Hooter hoots. And we are underway here. Again, Arizona. Let's see if Portland has any ideas in terms of how to break down the Arizona defense. Of course, things will get a little bit more difficult for them because they are kicking towards the Bob Seeger end, which is against the wind.
Armstrong just fell a little awkwardly there. I thought she might have got an ankle rolled up on. She looks okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Melissa has in her career taken a lot of bumps. But you know what's funny is, as we talk, of course, we're commemorating the 20th anniversary of the women's competition all this weekend. You know, she told me when she first played for Arizona back in 2003, they didn't tackle. In fact, the first year in Milwaukee when we did this, they didn't tackle. And there's a great video or a picture of her tackling Cat Hogg with the not forgetting completely that there was the wrap rule. So here's a chance for Arizona. They're looking for their third. Kick is up on the way, and did it sneak inside? It did.
That happened quickly, didn't it, Brian?
Within the first minute, and give that one to Olivia Devia, who has now kicked her second, and Arizona has kicked 3 in a row. They go to 3 straight 18 on the Watch AFL scoreboard. No score yet for Portland. And I'll tell you what, in a game like this, especially with the wind, that's a huge goal. And now things are going to get much more difficult for the Sockeyes.
Yeah, you just mentioned it. A tackle in the middle of the ground, a nice kick downfield with the breeze, and a quick goal. This may get away from Portland if they're not too careful. It's 18-zip at the moment.
Ball went down, and we have a free kick coming back the other direction. And it will go the way of Indigo Ao. And I think Ao's coming out party was in the Western Regionals a season ago. As goes looking forward, long pickup attempt. Williams is in there for the Sockeyes. And we'll have a ball up just inside the 50-meter arc. Sockeyes attacking. Picked up, tried to dance away. Ball comes down. They work it around. This is Carr out into the pocket. And now there's going to be a big race, but tracking all the way back to get there was Kira McGuire. McGuire, one of the Irish imports, one of Irish recruits, we'll say, from the Orange County Giants side.
Get a throw in at the forward end finally for the Portland, Seattle, North Texas team. We'll see if they can break the seal on the scoreboard.
Sockeyes looking after it. Ball comes back into play. They won 3 straight D2 national titles, and very lucky to get away with that, I think, tackling without the ball. They ruled it was incidental contact. But the Sockeyes, the first year they had Division II, which oddly enough was 10 years ago, they were combined with Calgary to go on and win D2. The following year, they hooked up with Seattle and Tampa Bay to take out Division II. So they are used to playing alongside Seattle as Portland. And then in 2017, they were combined with Erica Sacchi and the Philadelphia Hawks. This one gets sent in by Barter, and it's marked nicely. And this is Amelia Carr. Carr waits, now dances forward, gets over the player on the mark. One-on-one contest, big tackle put in, and Bowe was held up, and she gets a free kick, and here's Amanda Bowe. And this will be well within her range. It's just a matter of kicking straight, and I'll tell you what, the Sockeyes will need this. There is her normal goalie stance, and it was a 50-meter penalty. The player came over the mark, and now this should assuredly be a goal. And Bo, a former college goalkeeper for Washington University in St. Louis, she has the same thing where she always stretches it out over her head, brings it down, and splits the middle. And Portland gets their first major score of the game on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Portland goes to 1 straight 6, and Arizona 3 straight 18.
They've bounced back. That was mostly Carr being very active, kicking on both sides of her body. You wouldn't even know if she's left-footed or right-footed until she has a free kick, and that time she got it up forward to Bo, who then got a 50, and then had a free shot to the pickleball court. So they're finally on the scoreboard, 18-6 now in favor of Arizona.
And I want to go back to the Western Regionals. Golden Gate won the Western Regionals over Minnesota, but the strength, I think, as well as the Golden Gate women played, you had the Seattle and the Sacramento women when they were combined. Bo was in there. She had a fantastic tournament. Carr wasn't there, but you saw her action there. Sacramento, of course, they were playing alongside they're playing alongside Denver, and you saw the results there. So it's been an absolutely it's great to see what they can add in any team.
Yeah, they also played together for the Freedom in Toronto last year. Connected there quite a bit as well.
Ball comes, that's knocked up, and it will have, as it looks like that was Skonechny who was in there.
But Brian, you mentioned the rules were different. The wrap up 20 years ago, and I guess that was people trying their best to do the right thing. But this is full-on football now. A lot of the stuff that was previously criminalized is now fair for everyone. So it's great to see real football being played in the last decade or two.
Absolutely, and the skills have gotten better and better, and I'll extrapolate on that in just a moment as the ball is up on the far side once again. The ball gets knocked free, and they go after it. Big tackle put in. Mora was tackled awkwardly by Carr, but got up okay. Williams is in there, and looked like Mora pulled the ball in. They won it. They got it around. Big tackle put in. But there is Danny I don't know if it was Marshall, but that was sent in towards the sticks. In fact, it may have been O'Halloran. And it has just gone off to the side for a behind.
I thought that was going to be a goal. But
I thought it was very good. In fact, you may have heard some of the boo birds come out, or at least some of the groan birds. So a point to Arizona. 3-1-19 is now the score. Portland 1 straight 6. But here comes Arizona stealing the ball, and they'll get it again. Drops in front. Going after once again to get it is Haystand. And Lindsay Haystand, who is, as I said, former national teamer. Player has been around the Arizona side a long darn time. Boundary throw in.
So that was the first point scored in the game, and now it's a long way for Portland to go from one end to the other. So I anticipate Arizona might lock it in here for a bit.
If they can, you would tend to think that would lock up the victory. And again, a date with Golden Gate and the possibility of getting into the Division I bracket off of one step, sails across the face, but it has gone out of bounds on the full, and it'll be a free kick to Portland.
So yeah, a point keeps it up there, and then out of bounds, and then out of bounds again. The clock is in the favor of Arizona/Blue Ox.
The other game in Division II, Austin has finally kicked a goal, 1 of 11 scoring shots, 1-10-16 for Austin, and DC yet to score. We're still waiting to hear an update from the Minnesota-New York game as well. The winner of that game gets a bye, and the loser of that game will play what looks to be the Austin Crows in a quarterfinal match. And then the loser of that game, if it is DC, they would play the loser of this game in a challenge match that really exists to make sure that all the teams get at least 2 games in on the week, or 3 games in rather, on the weekend.
That is a lot of points over. They should come play on this field.
I was going to say
more goals than points over here.
I'm interested to see, and of course, Pat Machado is over there calling the game. Be interesting to see what exactly they have had in terms of. As the ball comes through.
Uncontested possessions are hard to come by in this game. The pressure's been strong right throughout.
It has been, and it's amazing, and I think it really shows. There's a couple of players who I feel like were really good at reading that. as the free kick goes to McLean. When you think about a player like Marshall, Page kicker with Minnesota is really good. When you think about somebody like Brett, I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of I can picture her face from Golden Gate, not Brett Brower. I'll remember it at some point. She's from Charleston, South Carolina, and she played for the Iron Maidens. And I'm sure somebody out there is screaming at the stream as to whoever that is.
I'm sure you're going to yell her name out a couple games from now.
Probably. Going and picking that one up, though, is Ao, who is desperately trying to get it out. It pops up in the air, going all the way back, and then here and going to pick that one up was Yoon, who was met by Ao, and they share a little bit of a bear hug, and we'll have a ball up.
McLean made good contact on that free kick that she just centered, but it did not get any further than that.
Halfway through this second half, it is still 19-6, and it'll be scooped up. Big smother put in there, and it's dropped, and then getting spun around, and that was good enough to be called tackling without the ball. As that is Barter who got called for not releasing. And here is Melissa Armstrong, the other number 24. So Armstrong sending this one down. It is taken down and then tried to clear that one out. Good opportunity here for the Hawks. That one's going to dribble through. They're rushing all the way back, and just keeping that one in play was Galbraith. And I would say you'd have to be very careful on something like that because there's a non-zero chance that would be called deliberate. Look at me pull out $10 words like non-zero.
Fancy words like brunch?
Yes. Fancy. We have fancy as the ball comes spinning back in the play. And going to pick that one up and getting held and wrapped up.
We talked about it a bit ago. Once the ball got up to the forward end and the goal wasn't scored, we wondered when might it come out, and it just hasn't yet.
Watch AFL around the grounds. Austin 111-17. Does DC no score?
It's a super hot footy.
It is. It is a super hot footy out there. It's starting to warm up a little bit. Temperature at last check was 77 degrees. It's not going to get too much hotter. 81 is the high. It is going to get hotter tomorrow.
And I can feel the breeze picking up as the day goes on.
I will say there is a situation where the humidity is pretty low, and when that is, the breeze is a little bit more pronounced. So it should cool things off a little bit. Tried to go out for the snap. Oh, Halloran was in there, and we'll have a ball up. Ball goes into the heavens, and Barter knocks the ball forward. Going to get picked up by Amelia Carr. Carr gets sending this one down. It'll have high up in the air. Going to get picked up. Turns around on a dime. Believe that's McGuire. Right-footed kick inside. Going to drop it. Oh, that took a awkwardly big hop. And then going to pick that one up again and getting held up once again. And it is the 11, who is Ryan Sotelo.
If you could zoom out on your television, you'd see there's only about 3 or 4 players outside of the 50-meter arc. So when Portland try to get it out, it just comes right back because Arizona's blocking those exits so well.
And you could hear from here in her half Colorado, half Melbourne accent as that one sails off to the side for a behind. For Denver, for Arizona rather, you could hear Danny Marshall screaming instructions and in her measured way. She doesn't carry as much as some of the other players. She doesn't need to. She leads in her own kind of measured way. Watch AFL scoreboard shows Arizona now go on to 3-2-20, and it's one straight 6 still for Portland. Brian Barish, Jason Becker coming up next on this field. We have a Division II match on the men's side as the San Diego Lions playing their first game of the day take on the 0-1 Austin Crows reserve side.
Yeah, and Danny Marshall's just playing center field right behind the 50-meter arc. Amanda Bowe just behind her. I imagine she'd go make a contest if needed, but right now if it popped out to the 50, it's going to come right back through Danny.
It is, and I think Danny, with no offense intended at all at Amanda, I would say that you would probably tip Danny to at least be able to put pressure on Amanda if it does come out that way. Now the players are kind of backing up on that far side. We've seen a lot of play. I don't know about the one game that you and SARS did, but we've seen a lot of play on that opposite side of the ground. They haven't come over towards the commentary side too much. That's been essentially been the thin side of the ground. They have not led, and we see this a lot, especially in games outside of Australia. Players need, I think, to have more of the awareness, and especially in the women's game, to be able to look up and make leads. We see a lot of players standing around here in front of us.
Yeah, that's right. And we blamed part of the play on the far end on Dan's deodorant or lack thereof, but he's not here now, so the theory goes out the window.
I was going to say fresh grass and deodorant, we said that may have been his deodorant. That's maybe why they weren't coming over here. Ball's up on the far side. As we have less than 5 minutes to go in this match, and it looks like it's going to be a Arizona Golden Gate quarterfinal match in the women's division.
Yeah, this isn't over yet, but it's just been locked up here so long, it's hard to imagine the Lee Matthews rule being met. A goal a minute.
I was going to say, it's probably, I would say, the last 10 minutes or so that it's been like that.
And the breeze just keeps picking up from left to right.
Kick is up on the way. It will drop in short off the hands of Duffield, who was involved more in the first half but is swarming over the ball here in the second. And again, they're honestly just hacking the ball out of there, are the Sockeyes team. And there's a lot of loose players at the top of the 50-meter arc.
Portland's just got no options to even get it out of there, even if they did make good connection. There's just nobody there.
Ball goes in, and it looks like that did just stop in front of the goal post, and so it'll be a boundary throw in. And Arizona, again, knocking on the door here. And we'll check the score on the other game in a moment of Austin and D.C. The Crows look to have that squared away. O'Halloran
around the corner,
across the face.
Good idea.
On the Watch AFL scoreboard, another point. And that takes them to 3-3-21.
No, I don't even think that's registered, Brian.
Oh, did it? Hang on.
The kick came back in
quickly. Never mind. Still 3-2-20. Still 3-2-20.
Well, good tackle from Portland.
Great tackle. Ball comes spinning out loose. And it goes out into the pocket once again. And again, taken down was Devia, who has 2 of the 3 goals. And the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Arizona has scored in the first minute, and they have held on ever since then. As we go around the grounds for Watch AFL and take a look at the scores as we have them. And Austin, we now finally have an update in division in the other women's game, but we'll give to you in just a moment. Ball gets taken down high, and it squirts out. It goes around. They pitchfork handball that over. Tello able to get to it, dances away, handballs it back. This is Pfeiffer, who goes off to the side. Pfeiffer, one of the San Diego recruits, gonna get picked up. 2 Sockeyes were there, and the ball will get locked in.
You could see Arizona trying to do the extra pass, change the angle, come in from the left side, and it's just so congested up there with 30 out of 36 players within a kick of the ball.
Around the grounds for Watch AFL, Austin 2-11-23 leads DC 1 behind. Minnesota 7-2-44 leads New York 1 behind. So all of the thoughts that maybe Minnesota would be having a down year this season at Nationals, well, that apparently is going out the window. So it looks like the Freeze and we're going to join the Bulldogs in having the rest of the afternoon off. And the rest of the bracket would be Austin would go and play New York, while Arizona is going to go and play Golden Gate.
Maybe the Freeze will have some of that sparkling you were advertising earlier.
I was going to say, we're talking about that Tasmanian sparkling, which name I'm looking up. It's a Jan's. As we said, it is available here today. As the ball goes across, stay and play, big tackle. That looked like a, well, it looked like it was one of those stand-up tackles. Almost looked like a rugby maul situation.
Yeah, and like we said, that since the first 5 minutes after that first Arizona goal, it's just been locked in up here the whole time, and I don't imagine there's more than about 10 seconds left in this game.
Not at all. In fact, there's probably about that. It's marked. Comes in short. It's marked. And that will do it. And that is it. And the Arizona Hawks, on their home turf, have advanced to the Women's Division I quarterfinals. And there you see a big hug right in front of us between Danny Marshall and Amelia Carr, two teammates for the USA Freedom, and some hugs from Amanda Mora as well. But a game played in the right spirit, but the game in the end, Arizona's defense led by Danny Marshall and led as well in the forward line by Sarah O'Halloran was the difference. The final score, it's the Arizona Hawks, 3 goals, 2 behinds, 20 points. Portland 1 straight, 6, and it's just a tale of pressure leading to the victory.
Yep, just didn't give Portland a chance to get anything going. We talked about Danny all day, talked about Carr a little bit. Obviously, you just mentioned that they're friends and teammates at the national level, so good players going at it, but Portland just could not get it out of their defense in that second half.
They really couldn't, and that was a struggle, I think, for both sides, and you know, eventually Arizona, I mean, the ball didn't really leave their forward 50 for the last, I would say, the last half of that second half. It really was just suffocating deep pressure, and that was enough to get them over the line. The score of the other game has gone final. Austin 2-11-23, defeating DC 1 behind, and Minnesota, as we said, last check, was leading New York 44-1. So it looks like the Freeze are going to get the bye into the semifinals of Division 1, and they will play the winner of either the Golden Gate. They'll play either Golden Gate or Arizona in the Division I semifinals. The loser of that game will go into the Division II semifinals against the, I guess it would be the DC Eagles. I'd have to double check. Austin, meanwhile, they will advance to play New York, and DC will go down into Division II. So that is that's basically this format, and you know, we've seen it here, and so really, you know, Portland, they know, listen, they'll have another game. They'll have a chance for them to do some stuff a little bit later. It will be an opportunity for them to get ready for tomorrow morning when they'll have a semifinal game.
Yep, lots more footy to be played, and I'm glad you explained the format again, because I quite simply could not.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they pay me the big bucks. All right, well, of course, coming up right here, we have a men's Division II match here on Cooper's Field as the San Diego Lions take on the Austin Crows Reserves. We'll be back in just a moment for that one. I'll be joined by Dan Sarbacker. Thanks so much to Jason Becker for his work on the last 2 games. We'll be right back. You're watching the 2025 USAFL National Championships presented by Tasmanian from Tucson, Arizona, here on AussieRulesUSA.com.